you for joining me today on this project. It's just a basic stool or bench that would go at the bottom of a bed. I don't think there's very much to tell you about it at the moment, so let's get on with it. As with all projects, I'm going to pull it to pieces if I can. They have cats sitting on it, and although I have cats, this is causing my face to itch a little bit. Oh dear, it's got a nail in it. This has a tack in it. I'm going to see if I can get the piping up first, which doesn't seem to be. So I think this might be quite simple to take apart, although what they did here was they put the piping in first and then they tacked that down on top. That's an interesting way of doing it. So there was something interesting to point out about this. I'll see whether it's the same on all the way around. Okay, this is going to take me a little while to pull out, as it's a mixture of staples and tacks. I want those tacks up there so I don't get hurt by them. I think with it stabilised on the floor, it will make it a lot easier for me. I'm just going to centre this end like this. I've cut in at the corners or close to, and bring that down and cut across the top of here where the foam comes down to, and I think just cut that back a little bit so I can square that off, and I'm going to fold those in to those corners. Although I have cut the center is somewhere about there. I think it's not like I have to center the pattern. I just needed to make sure that the center of the fabric was more or less in the center of this piece, and I'm going to take it from the pattern here down. I'm just going to put a staple there. I'm going to make it even to about 1 inch either side for now, because the foam does come down, but I'll pull it in on the other side and see how close I need to get. Usually I get to within 3 or 4 inches of a corner and then bring it in. So let's see where we get to. Now on this side, if I bring that down, the wood I need to attach it to is here. So I'm just going to lightly bring that in with my finger, and I will cut that much off. I should have enough to be able to pull the fabric down. I'll just pop it over here and fold it back so it's even. I'm going to cut my halfway mark. As I said before, this is only a guide. That actually comes to where I want it to, and I'm stapling into this area here, so not too low. There we go. I'm going to pull this in to the center mark, which is around about there, I think. And again, 1 inch either side will be fine for now, because I can take these out and readjust anything that I need to. This is such an all-over pattern. I don't have to worry about centering it. But what I do want to think about is where the pattern repeat is going across. And if I bring that into here, it's a little knobble on the end of this. There's one here. So I'm going to bring those two in to start off with and pull it out and make sure that everything goes even either side. It's usually only me who notices pattern repeats. My friends don't tend to, unless it's a big pattern. So there's one. And then here's the second one here. So then this one here looks more or less even. So I think I'm going to go to this pattern next, and then its corresponding one until everything comes in. Might be the best way of doing it. It's a little bit of a slow process, but it will work. And my dacron is cut to the top of the band here, so it should not interfere with what I'm doing. So I'm going to just get that done. Yeah, I think that'd be fine. Maybe here, and then work out either way. I've cut in here and folded it in. I'm not going to pull it in. I'm going to do the same on this side. Just cut it down into the corner, but not too far, because I can adjust that. Straighten that out. I'm going to cut it midway down, and the same on the other side, just midway across. There's not very much space to pop this into. Fold that under the dacron and pull it into place. So that and that look about even. I'm going to pull this down slightly. I think I could probably pull it in maybe 1/2 inch from the selvage in. It'll take a little bit of slack up. I've actually managed to pull these weft threads into a straight line. I'm going to staple here and then make my way across. But I think I'm going to take just a little bit more fabric out like that. And it comes down to maybe 1 inch. And then up to 1/2 inch. So it's a nice little curve there without being too drastic. And then I'll just shape it. I'll do the same on this end. Make sure all of your stuffing is above and in those spaces because it gets a bit thin in those areas. And again, I'm just going to pull that in so that the threads are in a straight line. I think that looks about even both sides. I think my staples are more or less straight. They're certainly close to that bar. I think this side at least I can cut back. There we go. Just cut that back. I think now that I'm satisfied with this, I'm going to go and pull the other side in. I'll probably lift this one up so I can get it a little bit tighter here. The things I'm putting double piping on, I think that'll be fine. On this side there's a little bit more of a gap, so I'm going to pop that in behind here and into place. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's just a bit of a filler. And I'm going to bring that down here and just staple across, making a nice even curve. I'll have a look in a minute. I might need to just pull this down slightly. There's a little bit of give there. Not much, but enough that it's going to bother me. I think I'll just remove these and just bring them into place. Okay, so I've reworked all the way along the first side. So I'm going to do the same with this. See if I can match any of this up with the existing pattern. That has to come down to there and out. I'm just going to follow the pattern here and repeat it for the second side as I bring it out towards the end here. I think it will look pretty much even by then. It's just a little bit of manoeuvring to get it where I want it. I've actually gone round twice. I think once the double piping's gone on, it's going to hide any imperfections. I'm going to cut back all the way around. I have two lengths of piping to do. Oh dear. And it's double piping, but I'm going to do it this way. It's a velvet and it's a little bit slippery. Pop that under here. It helps if the needle is up, of course. Make sure that's folded in quite tightly and sew down. So it's double piping that I've got to do, but I just don't want it slipping around too much. So I'm going to go down this first length all the way to the end. I don't often do it this way, it's just that slippery fabric. It's sometimes better to do it this way than trying to keep two lengths of cording even. And keeping them in their lanes as well, because they sometimes like to swap. I don't think I need to cut any of this back, I kept it quite close to there. The top of my piping is here. I'm going to make sure the top of that one is there, like that. Fold it over and then slot it back underneath. I'm going to just sew down, keeping that side tight in there too, and even. Foot is down. It's a bit deceptive because the foot looks like it's higher. And again, I'm going to make my way down to the end of this length of fabric. Doing it this way doesn't take too long. It's when you're trying to keep everything even, it takes a little bit longer to do. I have a little bit of a problem. The fabric is quite thick and it's a little bit bulky under here from having the fabric cover folded underneath. What I've decided to do, because to pop that underneath there would be really bulky and wouldn't look particularly nice, I am doing a little bit of a combination of a tack and the end here. So I'm going to just put a little bit of goop there and I'm going to pop that just inside, squeeze it down a little bit. Then I'm going to put my tack a little way in from the outside there. I'm going to have to take that one out, that went in wonky. It'll hold for now. And then I'm going to just put glue on the underside here. Any strands, just kind of glue those back underneath like that and glue it into place. Hopefully all those little strands that are there will go back, and I'll work my way to the other end. Managed to take that one out and get it a little bit straighter. It'll be fine. To put this in, I'm going to cut just past the end, and then I'm going to open it up and take about 3/4 of an inch of piping out on both sides. Cut that out, and then because I double stitched it, do that there, and again cut that out. Put it closed, and because I've ruffled the ends there, I can now cut it back just inside there, and I should have a nice finish. Cut up some of these loose ends and then glue all the way down to the top. Actually, I've still got it a little bit long. Take a little bit more off of there, dab a little bit of glue in the end there and around the outside just so it holds. push it together. Put this about 1/8 of an inch in from the end, and I'll do the ends exactly the same way, but in this case I'll have to cut it back first and then glue it into position. But it shouldn't take me too long. I think it looks quite nice with the little tack there. I don't think that looks too bad, especially as they'll have a matching one here. Thank you for joining me today. I am absolutely thrilled the way this seat has turned out. I think my friend will be as well. I feel that just by putting these little tacks in and smoothing out the ends, the double piping has gone in quite nicely. If you want to hear more from me, please subscribe, hit the bell button, and a few thumbs up would be brilliant. And in the meantime, take care. See you later. Ciao.